Anthony Grasso here, bringing you financial news you can use. In this video, I'm going to do a stock analysis on Ocugen. Is this the COVID-19 penny stock that will keep going to the moon, or will it be brought back down to earth? Let's find out together. I'm going to go over a summary of the company, its product offerings, recent headline news, financials, analyst projections, and give it my buy, hold, or sell recommendation for both your short-term and long-term growth investors out there. And as always, folks, don't forget to smash that like button down below. Definitely helps out in the YouTube algorithm. And consider subscribing and hit that notification bell if you like to hear daily stock reviews and recommendations. So let's get right into it. So the company Ocugen is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing a pipeline therapies for eye diseases. The company offers a diversified portfolio that includes gene therapies, biologics, and small molecules, and targets a range of retinal and ocular surface diseases. But most notably, and the reason why we're watching this to begin with, is what they're famous for today is trying to get a COVID-19 vaccine out there called Covaxin. So let's go ahead and look at some news about that and read through one of these news articles. So this came up from Tip Ranks. So there's a new potential COVID-19 vaccine at the gate. On Tuesday, Ocugen announced that it finalized a deal with the Indian-based Bharat Biotech. The two will work together on Covaxin, which is a COVID-19 vaccine for the U.S. market. Now, Ocugen will take all aspects of the U.S.-based responsibilities, including clinical development, regulatory approval, and commercialization. And let me stop right there. It's currently in clinical development right now, and it has not gotten any regulatory approvals or emergency use authorizations right now. Now, if the vaccine is granted, and EUA, the Bharat anticipates supplying the U.S. market initial Covaxin doses. And Bharat in return will be eligible for 55% of the U.S. sales profits, and Ocugen retaining the other 45%. So Ocugen gets a head start as Covaxin has already been granted emergency use authorization in India, and that was thanks to the Bharat company right there. But the thing we have to note here is that, yes, it did get emergency use authorization. They developed Covaxin based upon the Indian strain of the virus, not the U.S. strain of the virus. So we have to take that in consideration. Now, a recent analyst from H.E. Wainwright says the vaccine has qualities which set it apart from its competition. Compared to the COVID-19 vaccines currently authorized under the EUA, Covaxin could induce broad immunity, targets multiple viral proteins, potentially resulting in better protection against the emerging mutant viruses such as the UK and South American variants. Now, this isn't a proven fact right here. We got to take this with a grain of salt right here. You have to be very careful when language like that from an analyst is given. There is no concrete proof yet from peer-reviewed articles or from the FDA or whatever. It's still in phase 3 clinical trials right now. So I just wanted to point that out. So the vaccine, therefore, could strengthen their arsenal to fight against the pandemic. It could. One of the biggest things I want to note, though, about this about Covaxin, it only requires standard storage temperatures compared to the more stringent storage requirements for the other vaccines in the United States right now. So that's kind of a huge thing that they don't have to worry about keeping it extremely cold. So right now, the company is in talks with the FDA and the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority to map out the path forward to a successful EUA. Now, given the dire need for COVID-19 vaccines, that analyst believes that should the Indian phase 3 study display more than 50% success rate, there is a possibility that the FDA could make an unprecedented move and grant Covaxin EUA status. Now, I'm not sure this is actually going to happen. Unprecedented move just to say, okay, well, India gave the authorization. Well, the FDA is just going to follow suit and give authorization. I don't think that is just going to happen that way. So, but besides this news article that really goes in, hypes up the potential for FDA approval, let's go into some fundamentals of the company right now. So let me bring that up. So the company is currently trading at $5.25 a share. Now, in after hours, it's trading at $8.62 a share right now. I mean, that's extremely high at the moment, because just a few months ago, back in December, it was 39 cents a share or something like that. and then it was trading around 32 cents a share up into December, and then boom, it just skyrocketed. Let me bring that up a little bit so you can see it. So we're definitely at, not an all-time high, but because the company's been on a downward trend over the past couple of years. I'm going to discuss that, in just a few minutes. So the fundamentals have little to do with the current hype frenzy out there, but I'll definitely briefly just go over this. The company currently has market capitalization of $850 million, and the revenues for 2020 is only estimated to be about $11,000 for 2020, with no earnings data out. Now, the future analyst predictions that it's based on if phase 3 trials go well, if it is more effective than the US strains of the virus, if the FDA approvals and emergency use authorizations within the US are authorized, project revenues of $70 million by the end of 2021 and $186 million in 2022. So right now they're only at $11,000 as of the end of 2020. And they're projecting, if everything goes through, $70 million by the end of 2021 and $186 million by the end of 2022. Now, it is already authorized in India right now, so some of those revenues are projected from the Indian market right there, but a lot of that is the US market. Now, the company currently has less than 1 year of cash runway. They only had $19 million in cash on its books by the end of quarter 3 of 2020. Quarter 4 hasn't come out yet, but its short-term liabilities or short-term assets exceed its short-term liabilities and long-term liabilities. So that's definitely been a good thing. And the shareholders have been substantially diluted in the past year. So I would imagine if everything goes well, future share dilution to get working capital might be possible, because now the partnership with the other company, they're going to need a lot of cash to actually develop the dosages to actually get them out for distribution. So let me bring it back here. So what do the analysts say about this? Now, the analyst consensus is a strong buy, and they only have a price target of $4.30 a share over the next 12 months, with a high estimate of $8 and a low estimate of 70 cents a share. And we're after hours at $8.62 a share. We're over twice what the analysts project that it'll be in 12 months. Now, going over a few analyst reports. Now, there's nothing that I could find really. I found the CFRA Robo report has the company as a sell recommendation. I do not see this report, though, as being any use to us, because they're not taking consideration that this company's success is highly dependent on the clinical trials and FDA approvals, basically on the COVID-19 vaccine. So, and we do know that one analyst had it from a hold to a buy position with the $4.50 a share price target, and that's what really drove up the price in the short term on Friday to $5.25 a share at the close, and now to $8.62 a share. So on my buy, hold, or sell recommendation on Ocugen, here are my thoughts. The bullish view on this stock is that if there is a successful COVID-19 vaccine, this could be a huge rainmaker for Ocugen. So far, there's already been 2 other approved vaccines US today, with more on the way over the next year. There will be a need for multiple vaccines products from a multitude of companies, because each product will have advantages over the others with individual demographics. When we look at the early phase 1 data for Borat's Covaxin, it shows the data shows promise. In the medical journal The Lancet, it was published showing tolerability. Please note that this was not a peer-reviewed article, though. Phase 2 data on efficacy showed that the vaccine does have some immunity. So if you're a bull on the stock, you're betting that the Ocugen partnership has a chance to bring the approved COVID-19 vaccine to the US market, and that it will get approved. But folks, there's no FDA approval right now. There is no emergency use authorization in place for this vaccine. If you think just because the Indian government gave emergency use authorization for the vaccine, don't think that that the FDA will do an unprecedented move just to say, well, the Indian government did it, we're going to do it as well. They're going to go through their checks and balances to make sure it is a good vaccine. They're not just going to blatantly just throw something out there to the United States. Now, Borat and Ocugen partnering together, saying that they will work with each other if and when an US FDA approval is given. Now, the weird thing is that the news came out in December of their partnership, but February 2nd is when the specifics of that partnership was released. Then 3 days later, February 5th, yesterday, is when the stock skyrocketed, most likely on news from that Wall Street fat cat analyst, H.C. Wainwright. Its ratings from a hold to a buy position with a $4.50 price target. But we also have to look at the downside risk to the stock. The report that came out last week about Covaxin was just early phase 1 and phase 2 data results, and by no means this is a done deal. There is no definitive proof at the moment that Covaxin is as good as the already approved COVID-19 vaccines in the US right now. Bharat has been around for many years, and it has managed to get that emergency use authorization in India. We have to realize, though, that Covaxin was developed using the COVID-19 Indian strain, as I said before. At this exact moment in time, there is no hardcore evidence that this vaccine developed for the Indian strain will be successful at the US strains, or the new strains from the United Kingdom or South Africa, for instance. People are buying into the hype right now on the hopes that this will be the next big vaccine that will be more effective than the current vaccines approved in the United States, with little evidence to support it yet. We also have to consider Ocugen doesn't have any significant resources at this exact moment, with just $19 million in cash at the end of Q3 of 2020. Q4 results have not been posted yet. As of today, there's no FDA approval on Covaxin. It is in the initial stages. We're in just phase 3 clinical trials right now. It would be wonderful if it actually succeeded, but the stock has already shot up like this is a done deal, and it is not. The stock went from 30 cents a share and in 3 weeks to $5.25 a share as of the close of Friday, and after hours trading today over $8.62 a share. We have to remember way back in February and March, when there were many stocks that went nutso through the roof as speculative investors could profit from solving the COVID-19 pandemic. And most of those companies, folks, that were struggling to begin with, like this company, have already crashed way back down to be penny stocks again. History definitely has a way of repeating itself. Penny stocks before the pandemic usually wound up to be returning to those levels once the euphoria has faded. By the way, the company Ocugen and Bharat don't have the combined muscle or resources to compete with the giants whose ramped up supply include billions of doses. That means they're going to have to raise a lot of capital, working capital, to get that done. So their current resource level is here. They're going to need up here, and they'll probably do more share dilution if they ever got approved. They would need to be getting that cash injection. So, and in addition to that, Ocugen has no success with its own pipeline right now. We only need to examine the OCU300 compound for ocular graft versus host disease, who's had its phase 3 trial discontinued last year. Not saying that it's going to happen with this one with Covaxin, but nothing is a done deal until it's a done deal, folks. So Ocugen did get a head start, though, as Covaxin has already been granted emergency use authorization in India, mostly thanks to Bharat. Now, it is currently in phase 3 study with 25,800 subjects enrolled. My recommendation would be to wait until the results of phase 3 study comes out and the chances of FDA approval and emergency use authorization in the United States before entering into the stock, especially at the current prices, which are out of this world right now at $8.64. It's already built in future profits of this company of it being successful. $8.64. It's basically saying, okay, we're already taking the profits. It's already projecting that revenue stream, and it's not. My recommendation is based on an overhyped up valuation of the company with a pumped up share price after hours. So if you currently do not own this stock right now, I would recommend sitting on the sidelines of this. This stock has already skyrocketed on the news hype with no actual concrete evidence, proof, data, or FDA approvals or emergency use authorizations within the United States. We need actually more information. We don't have it right now. This stock is going to be extremely volatile over the next few months. This stock is trading way above the analyst 12-month price targets with after hours trading at $8.62 a share right now. I don't know what's going to be tomorrow, but right now it's $8.62. I would not get suckered into buying this stock at these levels right now. Now, if you currently own the stock and got into it around 30 cents a share, and now it went up to $3 to $5 a share yesterday, bravo to you. Now is the time I would recommend an out strategy, an exit strategy to take your profits and divest yourself of this highly risky bet. The hype forces of getting rich quick schemes, I believe, have already pumped up this stock to outlandish levels. And I don't think it's going to, without any future news, positive news, this is just going to start coming down. If you believe that this will be a better than any other COVID-19 vaccine treatment out there, then I wish you the best for you. But I believe in the near term, this stock has way too much downside potential than any future upside swing, especially now in the after hours. Now, if the news came out that the FDA actually said it's a great drug, it's a great vaccine, and it's better than everything else out there, then more power to you. We're not there yet. My price target would put this company between the $6 and $8 a share price in the next 12 months. If they get COVID-19 approvals in the US and the vaccine does what the hype says it will do. If it does not, I see this stock trading at 40 cents a share again. But what are your thoughts? Do you think phase 3 clinical trials will be successful and they get FDA approval and emergency use authorizations in the United States? And will that be successful against the strain? We don't know yet, but please leave your comments down below on what you think. So there you have it, folks. And as always, don't forget to smash that like button down below and consider subscribing and hit that notification bell if you like your daily stock reviews and recommendations. A very unbiased source. I give you the pros and I give you the cons. And don't just believe the hype, folks. You got to learn yourself to say, hey, here's all the hype. Well, what's the bad news? What's the cons to the pros? You have to weigh out the pros and the cons before making any investment decision. Okay, until the next stock update video later today, folks. Ciao.